Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. I was born in 1882 in France. The artist Frederic Auguste Bartholdi made me, and then he gave me to America as a gesture of international friendship after the French Revolution, which was inspired by the one in your country. The book in my left hand symbolizes knowledge, and the 7 spokes in my crown remind children everywhere that there are 7 continents and 7 seas upon which they can cast their dreams. The torch in my right hand represents enlightenment, and the broken chains around my feet symbolize the end of slavery and tyranny. Now, you have never heard me complain before, but I have a bone to pick today, and that's why I'm on the Roseanne show. Okay, first of all, I had no idea when I got this job that I would have to remain knee-deep in water this long. And I am tired. Yes, I said it. I'm tired. And second of all, nobody ever checked with me before they turned away the Jews in World War II, the boat people, the Haitians, and the Cubans. Don't make me look like a liar. I stand for something. I am an immigrant, too, don't forget, n'est-ce pas? And lastly, more money goes in and out of New York City than any other city in the world, but I had to go out there and beg for a new dress, okay? Remember me, Liberty? You didn't see Mickey Mouse out there having to beg to clean up 42nd Street. And the Empire State Building looks beautiful. Maybe if King Kong would have climbed on top of me, Donald Trump would have given me a makeover. Everyone has received refuge in my mothering arms, and quite frankly, I would like a little mothering myself. And that is why I've gone bi-coastal. I have a brand new second home on the fabulous Las Vegas Strip, where I've been plopped down in front of a casino. I've lifted my lamp beside the golden nugget. And Margaret was so right. Viva Las Vegas! Viva! Viva Las Vegas! You know, I love it here in the desert. I like it, the heat. You know, it's a dry heat, and I like that. Vegas is the new frontier where there is no shortage of the weary, the downtrodden, and the brokenhearted. Where people from all walks of life have the freedom to lose everything they own on blackjack or craps and are never, ever turned away. Because until you have had steak and eggs at 4 a.m. for the bargain price of $1.99, you have no idea what freedom is really about. So, when you're in town, look me up, or should I just say, look up? I'm easy to find. Just say, hey, Liberty, Miss Liberty if you're nasty. And I have to say, I'm just so much happier here on the West Coast where I'm closer to the Mexican border, where my torch will provide blinding light in the Border Patrol's eyes, and the new immigrants can safely climb those fences. We have a great show today. Country music legend Reba McEntire is here. The founder of Children of the Night, an organization for runaways and sexually abused teenagers, Dr. Lois Lee, is here also. And she brought 2 beautiful young women with her, and we have much, much more, so stay tuned. said, between 1985 and 1992, my first guest had 24 straight top 10 hits. And that helped make her the best-selling female country act of all time. Please welcome Reba McEntire.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you for being on the show. You look great.
Thank you.
Look great?
Thank you. Thank you. And I didn't know it was going to be such an educational show. I did not know about all the things about the Statue of Liberty.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Very amazing.
Did you know she was in Vegas now?
Yes, I did. I drove by there last night, matter of fact.
You were in Vegas last night?
I was in Vegas last night.
What were you
went
doing
right down
there?
the strip playing a private show and then came out here to visit with you.
Oh. So you got some good money last night at a private show.
Yes.
That's where we make some good money on those private
That's the
things.
good thing, yes.
Your hair looks so cute. I think we have the very same hairstyle. Do we? Mine's a little messier because I had to wear that spoke thing.
I like your hair, though.
I like your hair short.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think we look younger.
Oh, yeah, and boy, it's so much easier to fix and to do with.
Right.
Because when I had the big hair, I kind of thought I had to act a different way.
Like what?
Like sophisticated and dignified, and that's not me. I'm more, you know, frisky and spunky, and hairdo, it just fitted. It was great.
Now, I heard this, I have to ask you this because I heard that, tell them what your favorite song is.
My favorite song? It's also your favorite song.
I know it is. Go ahead and say it.
Oh, say, can you see? The national anthem.
It's my favorite song, too, and it changed your life as it did mine. Right?
Isn't it amazing how one song can do that?
Isn't it amazing how many things we have in common? Have you ever forgotten the words or anything?
No.
No, thank God.
No.
I remembered all the words. I just forgot the tune.
That's important.
Yes, it's always important. Well, I was, you know, never really a great singer.
No,
But,
I thought you did real good.
I
at
did
Viva
on
Las
those few
Vegas.
notes, huh? I held those notes pretty good.
You
I was
have
pretty proud
such
of that.
power.
Why, thank you.
What you lack in tune, you have in power.
So, talking about the rodeo and everything, I didn't know this about you, but you kind of grew up in the rodeo.
Oh, yeah. My grandpap was a world champion in 34. My daddy was a world champion in 57, 58, and 61.
What, world champion what?
I'm sorry, a world champion steer roper.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now, Roseanne, that's when you come out of the chute and you rope the steer around the horns. You lay the trip, which is you put the rope on the right side of his hip, and then you and your horse ride off that way, and you trip him. You hop off your horse as he's going that way, and you get down and tie the steer up.
Man. So you have like 2 generations of rodeo championship steer ropers.
Yeah, it was a great education. It taught me how to work hard.
Yeah.
It taught
and
me
your
how
dad
to...
was pretty rough on you, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Daddy was very rough on all 4 of us kids because when he said to go do something, if you didn't, you got your butt busted or, you know, you got reprimanded for it.
Did he whip you with a bull whip or something?
No, we had a little buggy whip.
A buggy whip?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Mama had a little old quirt Daddy got in Mexico, and we hid that behind the deep freeze several times.
I wanted to talk to you about your song, The Greatest Man I Never Knew.
Yeah.
Such an awesome song. You can't hear that song without crying.
Well, it chokes me up, especially when I'm singing it in the audience. There'll be women in the front row reach down and get Kleenexes, and their husband will put their arm around them. And I've seen dads and their sons sit there and hold hands or, you know, embrace each other because it's a song about a man who is a father and is not comfortable about saying I love you to his children. Now, Daddy's never said I love you to any of us kids or Mama that I know of.
Wow.
And it really bothered me for a while. And when I recorded this song, The Greatest Man I Never Knew, Daddy, he kind of didn't know what they were talking about. And I explained it to him. He said, oh, well, that's nice. And one time, the only time he's come close to saying I love you, and it really wasn't legitimate because he was coming out of surgery from having triple bypass heart surgery. And he was in the hospital room there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was there, you know, with all my brothers and sisters and Mama. We were waiting on him to wake up. And when he did, I walked up to him and I said, well, Daddy, I got to go. The bus is outside. I got to go play Chattanooga tomorrow night, and I got to go. He said, well, okay, honey, I love you. We all looked at each other and said, yep, it's the drugs.
It's kind of one of those stern, not real verbal, but, you know, I love in the song where you said that, you know, he gave us everything he had. That's cool. So you knew that he
Oh,
loved you.
always. He showed it instead of telling us, and he's on his older age.
A lot of dads are like that.
Yeah, that's why that song is so popular, because it's so relatable. Right. And the older he gets, the more sentimental, and he's getting a lot more mellow.
Yeah, the men get more sentimental as they get older, don't they?
Yeah.
We got to go to commercial. We're coming back to talk to Reba some more. So be back here.
Don't leave.
Well, I'm not hurting like I used to. I got lucky, can't you see? Love came searching, it could choose you. Love's the greatest victory. So whoever's watching must be watching over me. Whoever's watching.
You look way better now.
Thank you.
You and your hair and your new thing, that was your big hair attitude going on there.
Oh, that was not even big yet.
That
it gets bigger later. Yeah. No wonder I have neck problems. All that hair.
So I wanted to talk to you about the first, I love this story. The first time that your brother sang at the rodeo, he got paid how much?
A quarter. He got paid a quarter. We were at the Cheyenne Frontier Days Rodeo in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and we were staying at the Frontier Days Hotel.
Wow.
And back in those days, Roseanne, there weren't televisions in the rooms. Well, of course, the ones we stayed at didn't have televisions in the room, or telephones. So everybody kind of congregated in the lobby. And we would visit, and it was really neat back in the good old days. And so some of the cowboys got paid, my older brother of 2 years, to get up and sing a song. Just, pass the time, Pake entertain us. So Pake got up and sang, "You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog," and a cowboy gave him a quarter. So I said, "Hey, Pake, come here." Got him over the side and I said, "Help me sing. Think of something I can get out there and sing. Let me make a quarter." So I got up and I sang "Jesus Loves Me," and they gave me a nickel.
Now, what kind of a spark did that light in little Reba?
You know, Roseanne, I've been fighting it ever since. I don't understand that mentality. I sang just as loud, I sang just as long, and I got a nickel. Ticked me off big time.
Now, I think you've made a mistake there, because I bet you sang 10 times as good, too. Right?
Well, Pake probably don't think so, but I tried. I really did. But it's really funny that the women in the business have been fighting that same system, and all you can do is just keep plugging, keep working. Don't make too much fuss about it. Just prove yourself. And that's what I've been trying to do for the last 20-some-odd years.
And you have nothing left to prove, because you've proved everything there is.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
But you
Thanks.
But you, like me, because when I grew up in Utah, which wasn't far there from Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Very
we used
true.
to drive over there, too.
Really?
So I saw rodeos and everything when I grew up, too. But you, like me, we both heard Loretta Lynn when we were young, and she so inspired me in my comedy and everything I do, and also you, right?
She's got the driest humor.
She
doesn't mean to be funny, but she is, and the things she says is honest and from the heart, and I love her with all my heart. We've been on television shows before, and we'll be sitting there and talking, and they'll be saying, "Okay, girls, we're ready for you," and she'll look at them like, "Don't you know we're visiting here?" Get on to them, and just like they're her kids.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
But her music, I mean, she really cut through a lot of stuff for women.
She did.
Totally.
She did. When she sang "Don't Come Home drinking with loving on your mind," and then my generation came out and said, "Well, don't come home at all." Forget it.
That is kind of the progression, isn't it?
Exactly.
Because I remember when I heard her songs, I was like, "This is something new. I've never heard this." We never got to hear that other side.
Yeah.
And of course, all her other things are awesome too.
Oh,
the first time I met her,
absolutely.
she was going to read my poem for me.
Yeah.
And she's reading my poem, and she goes, I have to do her accent because I love her. She goes, "You know, it says right here, Roseanne, you need to get yourself a little nerve pill and take one of them every day."
She did.
And she's like really pro. She's really pro women too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You couldn't do what she did, you know, having children when she was, what, 13 years old.
Oh my God,
and
yes.
Being the first lady in country music to ever win Entertainer of the Year. I've watched her on stage. I've watched her on television. I've watched the movie Coal Miner's Daughter.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
I'm a huge fan of Loretta Lynn.
We both love her. We're going to commercial. We're sending her some good vibrations while she's out there on tour now. We'll be back in a minute.
Wonderful.
More with Reba.
And I wake up and my little girl's about to be somebody else's wife. I don't know where I fit in.
Lizzie, let me tell you where you fit in, right here, with Emma and with me.
I know you're trying, but the truth is we're strangers. We just happen to be married.
You know, you are such an awesome performer like Garth Brooks. I mean, you can stand there in front of 60,000 people and you just nobody even blinks.
Oh, thank you.
So I think you're going to do great as an actress.
It was a lot of fun, and getting to work with Tim Matheson and Bess Armstrong, it was, you know, I depended on them a lot of the times to kind of pull me through, but it was a lot of fun. It's very challenging. So much different from being on stage, because on stage you get that instant,
Right.
you know, they either love it or they hate it.
Right.
They either say, yeah,
Right.
or they, yeah.
Yeah.
But on a movie, we filmed that movie, Forever Love, back in March. And now it's coming out September the 27th. So
Did you like it?
I loved it.
I couldn't stand. I couldn't stand it because you're like living in a trailer. It was too much like before I got famous. You just sit in a trailer all day waiting for somebody to come over and get you.
It reminds me of the Army, you know, hurry up, wait.
Yeah, a lot of, okay, come down and say your line. Now the lights were wrong, so you have to go back for 9 hours while I whistle.
Exactly.
It's way
Exactly.
too boring. I know that in 1991, it's so incredible that, you know, you were going to go on the airplane with your entire band, but something held you back. And
Well, let me set the record straight
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
I was never going to go that night. After just let y'all in on what happened, for you who don't know. We played a private show in San Diego, March 16th, 1991. And after the show, 2 small planes were going to take the band and crew on to Fort Wayne, Indiana, where we performed the next night. And Sandy Speaker, my stylist, and Narvel, my husband and manager, and myself stayed all night, and we're going to take another plane the next day. And one of the planes got out of San Diego just fine, and the other plane's wing hit a rock on the side of a mountain. And we lost 7 band members, my tour manager, and 2 pilots.
Man.
So it was something all of us had to live through. Everything happens for a reason. I don't know why, but you got to have faith in God and know that He's got a better plan and go on with life. And the next day after the plane crash, we were there at home back in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was sitting in my bathroom there at my dressing table, and this warm feeling came over me, just
Wow.
of relief and like a signal, and it said, "Go sing for us."
Wow.
And I knew then that they had made some sort of contact with me and given me some peace of mind that I could go on and do whatever I'm supposed to do in life, and I had their blessing. So I didn't feel like I had to go back, that they've already traveled the distance with me. They're with me all the time.
All the time?
Their love, their support, and I know that they're at peace wherever they are. They're okay. If I didn't know that, I'd been totally nuts by now.
You're a strong person to have that deep of a faith and a belief and something to hold on to like that. That makes a strong person, I think.
That was very important at that point. Anybody who's been through that knows that you've got to dig way down deep and get some inner strength, and then get from other people and draw and bond. And the more you talk about it, your problems and the things that are really bothering you, once they get out in the light, it's not as bad as you really thought it was when you were holding it in.
Right. Also, you seem to be able to like handle things that you never thought you would be able to handle. I mean,
That's very true. And the number one thing that I learned out of the whole accident was that you can't live your life as if it's going to go on forever. You have to live your life as if this is the last day, and that I did say goodbye to them because they were leaving and I was going to stay all night there. we all left on happy terms. You know, we were all right, we're going to play San Diego again next week, and we're all going to get together, and this has been a great year. And although it was a very young year, we were all, you know, we partied on an up note.
Yeah. What do you feel like, I mean, do you want to, this is kind of a real intimate question, but just because we're talking real intimately, what do you feel like, did you always feel this since you were really young, that you were called or set apart to do something
Like
great?
singing? No, you know, I was the third of 4 children. I wasn't the oldest, I wasn't the youngest, I wasn't the only boy, I was the third kid. You know. So singing was the one thing, the one way I could get everybody's attention. Because if you talked, you were just another voice.
Right.
And so when I sang, people stopped talking and listened. And so I knew from a very early age that that was the one way I could get attention, and it continued on through school
But were you
and
blown
college.
away that you could sing? I mean, did it blow your mind to hear your voice the first time and know that you had a great voice inside yourself?
That never entered my mind. I was just so thrilled to get attention. Really, I just thought everybody else could, but probably didn't use it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just have such a great voice. We can't,
Thank you.
we can't let you go without, like, really begging you to sing something for us.
Oh, well. Oh, okay.
And we love so much that you're just going to be sitting in the chair and singing it without...
Well, you want a up-tempo, a fast, a sentimental, a slow? What do you want?
Well, I don't know. I know you can do anything.
Well, I don't know about that. What would you like? You want something like, sweet dreams of you.
Keep going.
Every night I go through. Or you might like something like, here's your one chance fancy, don't let me down. She said, here's your one chance fancy, don't let me down. Lord, forgive me for what I do, but if you want out, well, it's up to you. Now, don't let me down. Now your mama's gonna move you uptown. That's the fun stuff.
You have such an awesome voice.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so moved by it because it's just like, it's a voice that wherever you are, you just totally freeze and listen to.
Oh,
you are
thanks.
such an awesome woman. Thank
You're
you for
sweet.
coming.
You are too.
Oh, thank you.
You are too.
Me and you and our new hair and our new attitude.
Telling you.
Thank you for being on my show,
My pleasure,
Reba.
Roseanne. Thank you.
We'll
Thank
be
you.
back. The Children of the Night. That was very nice. Hey, if you're in the LA area and want to see my show, call 1-800-485-6885. Years ago, Dr. Lois Lee started an organization for runaways and sexually abused teenagers that's called Children of the Night. This group has rescued over 10,000 kids, of which 80% have stayed off the streets. My next guests are 2 courageous young women who are here to talk about how they themselves were living on the streets in desperation with nowhere to turn when they found Children of the Night, which totally changed their lives. Please welcome Andrea and Jill to the show. Hi. Hi. Nice to meet you. I've met Jill before, but it's nice to meet you.
Me too.
So, you both are pretty strong to be here and share some incredible stories with us, which we really appreciate.
Thank you.
And so I'd like to ask you, what brought you to Children of the Night?
Throughout my life, there was a lot of abuse, physical, mental, and sexual. And, you know, there just comes a point in everybody's life where you just can't take it anymore. And there's also a lot of drugs involved that I got into at a very, very young age. And I left, you know, and...
How old were you at the age where you couldn't take it anymore?
Where I left home? 14, 15. And, you know, I just couldn't take it anymore. And then, you know, I found out through Children of the Night when I was in detention hall of Juvenile Hall in Las Vegas. It was either that or stay in juvenile hall or just go back out to the streets and mess up again. So I went to Children of the Night.
Were you, how old were you when you made the choice that you were going to call?
I was 15, but at that time, I wasn't ready. I was there for 4 months, and I ended up going back out with my mother.
Your mom came and got you, right?
Right. She came back and got me. I went back to Las Vegas, where I was working and got back onto drugs really bad. And at a point, I told her, I said, we need help. We need to get help together. And it wasn't her idea, but it was mine. And I got kicked out again and decided to call Children of the Night again. And I knew I was ready, You just know you are. And I decided to come back.
It's good you did that. What about you, Jill?
I went to Children of the Night because I was feeling really lost, not feeling like I belonged anywhere, living with friend and friend, relative to relative. I really felt like I didn't belong anywhere and didn't know really what I wanted in life. I just knew that what I had wasn't making me happy, so I decided to
You come
go
from the
there.
same kind of background, though, don't you?
Yes, very rough at home, very hard time at home. And being around, not feeling like I belong anywhere really was hard on me. So when I found the shelter, that really changed everything. Helped me build a foundation for the life that I'm working toward right now.
Jill's totally turned her life around. She's doing so great. So proud of you.
Thank
and we'll
you.
talk more about it when Dr. Lee comes out.
Okay.
We're going to take a commercial, and we'll be back with more of these two beautiful women and Dr. Lois Lee. Joining us is the founder of Children of the Night. Please welcome Dr. Lois Lee. How much everybody loves you. Just feel. What would happen to these kids and other kids like them if it wasn't for Children of the Night?
Well, they'd be left to fend for themselves on the street, and the ones that didn't die from homicide or suicide would eventually have to commit serious kinds of crimes to survive, and we would end up paying for them in our prison system with our taxpayers' money for the rest of their lives. So it really is a situation where we either spend some money, preventive money, on the front end now, or we end up paying for it later, and we pay a lot more if we wait.
We do pay a lot more on the back end, don't we?
We certainly do.
But these kids have been let down by everybody in their world.
Yes.
And what do you do to make them trust again, to even feel trust, which a lot of them maybe have never felt?
We provide them with unconditional love, and they can come into the shelter. It's a very structured program where they have wake up at 7 o'clock, jazz class at 7:30, breakfast, showers, life planning. Their school is inside the shelter from the hours of 1 to 6. They have supportive, loving, caring staff. Some of them need to go back to the streets because they're not ready. We understand that. If you need to go back to the streets and you're in a motel room or someplace and you call and you're loaded, we'll talk to you. We're still with you. It's not a judgment in terms of, I always say, how come their parents or other people had 14 years to mess them up and I'm supposed to get 30 days? It doesn't work that way. It takes a long, long time. And sometimes it takes kids as long as a year and a half.
Okay, but I just have to ask you this. Where does somebody like you come from?
I don't know. I was an accident.
How could you have given
It was
19
just-
years to this?
Well, and I joke that I'm like them because many times I say I'm doing this just for a little while and then I'm getting out. But I started as an academic, and I started by suing the Los Angeles Police Department for not arresting an equal number of men for prostitution. And I analyzed 15,000 police reports, and that put me in court as an expert witness and met women who were prostituting, and 2 women were killed that I knew by the Hillside Strangler. And I was just out on the streets, thrown into this enormous situation and helping these women.
Did it blow your mind to find out that there were children out there?
Well, I
in
didn't find
prostitution?
children for about another year and a half when the laws changed and the police were prohibited from picking up these kids on the street. It's so backwards. There were situations where a mother came to me and said, I told the policeman, that's my 13-year-old daughter that pimp is an ex-con, he's 48 years old, get my daughter. And the police say, I can't do anything. There are no laws that will help them to get off. And all the kids we deal with are not involved in prostitution,
Right.
but that's where they're
But a lot
headed
of them
if you
are.
don't get them.
That
And
is
many
where
of
you're
them
headed on
are.
the street,
And if
right.
not after the prostitution, they go on to serious crimes because you're not really desirable as a prostitute after the age of 22 or 23 on the streets.
How do you go out and convince these kids to get in this van that you bring out there?
We have-
She takes a van out and she says, whoever wants to have help, run to the van.
Yes.
But how do they?
Well, the big problem now is the pimps are staying right on top of the kids, so we have more difficulty in terms of reaching the children. But we give them cards, we tell them if they have trouble with the police, if they need help, and we hand them condoms on the street. A lot of people get upset about that, but we do it because we want to deal with them in their world and help them and show them that we can deal with them in that world. And the kids call, we're there.
But then you take them and they all are lifted. It's
When a
so
child
amazing.
calls Children of the Night, a counselor stays on the phone with them until a cab picks them up and brings them in. So they get it from the once you're in Children of the Night, you don't get out. And I know, these kids can tell you, I mean, because they were in and out of Children of the Night, that we were there even when you were out, when you had decided that you didn't want to come back, and you knew you could come back.
What's going to keep you there now, Andrea?
There's a thing in AA program. It's called a moment of clarity, where you wake up to what's going on and you don't want it anymore. There's a difference when you think you want it and you have doubts, and when you really do want it. And I really want it. I have goals.
Isn't there like something going on too? All this stuff that you think, I can fix it, I can fix it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix it. And then that moment of clarity comes where it's like, I can never fix it.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
you just give up all that. Well, you get a lot of feelings when you give up on that one, don't you?
It's hard.
It's very hard. We've got a lot of kids here to talk to
Yes.
from Children of the Night.
And they're anxious to talk and tell
And
you
we
about
want
their
to talk
lives.
to them. We're going to take a commercial, we're going to come back, and we're going to do that. So stay with us. We have some really brave young people here with us today who are in the Children of the Night, and they're going to share their stories with us and tell us what it's been like for them. And first we have Alex.
Yeah,
I wanted to know about the minute in your mind when you knew you would be strong enough to ask for help.
Got real scared at times, didn't know where to go, what things to do, and I didn't really know about shelters till I moved down here from the Bay Area, you know. But, I mean, I've been through a lot of stuff. Right now, I'm in recovery. I'm going back to school.
Good.
I don't know where I would be without this shelter, you know.
How long have you been in there?
4 months. I've left 3 times because some personal problems. I wasn't ready.
Are you ready now?
Yeah, I'm totally ready. I get a little sidetracked here and there, but all I need, I've set goals. I'm taking control of my life, you know.
How old are you?
15 right now.
Being 15 and
Going
taking
on to
control of your
16.
life. So awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
It's really awesome. Thank you, Alex. You did great.
All right.
What's your name?
John. And I've been to like numerous shelters around. And most of the shelters are only like 2-week shelters, and you get kicked out and, you know, you go to another shelter or whatever. And I've been to like, 7 shelters now. And I've been kicked out of 5 of them. And,
How come
you know,
you've been kicked out?
why? Or because like the rules would be too strict and it'd be hard for me to abide by them, you know.
So it would be easier to be on the streets than in the
Right.
shelters?
You're right. I mean, you know, those shelters were like, you know, they BS'd you a lot. And ever since I've gotten it, this is the longest shelter I've ever been in my whole life. You know, this is a month so far, and I like it a lot. You know, they do a lot of things for you. You make up credits, you know, you get your life together. And I'm just proud to be here and represent Children of the Night, you know, because it's a very good program.
You're in a
And-
month?
Yeah, a month right now.
And how old are you now?
16. And
What's going to keep you there?
the fact that I want to make something out of my life and make everybody proud and prove everybody wrong, you know, instead of everybody saying that John's a failure, you know, everybody's going to say John made it in life and, you know, succeeded in everything he wanted to do.
Good that you want that.
Yeah.
It's good that you want that.
Thank you.
Give you some support there. Thank you, John. What's your name?
My name's Tyrona, and, well, I was getting, like, in a lot of trouble in the streets in Las Vegas and ran into the police a couple of times, and they referred me to Children of the Night.
When did you first leave your home?
When I was 13. Then I got pregnant, had a baby at 13, and so I decided to go there, Children of the Night, and now it's like they're helping me out with a lot of stuff. I'm going to parenting classes to get my daughter back, and school, which
How old are you now?
15, which I'm getting my daughter back now because I'm going to the parenting classes and everything, and school.
How long have you been in?
Going on 3 weeks tomorrow.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's great. Thank you for telling us your story. Tell us about you.
My name's Maria, and I got there from another shelter. They referred me here.
How old are you?
I was 14. And that's how I got here.
How long have you been there?
Off and on for like 2.5 months.
Are you going to stay?
I went home one time to my grandma's house where I was at before, and I was getting into a lot of trouble before, and it started all over, so I had to come back.
Yeah, sometimes you have to leave the bad
And
place.
now I can't go back to my home anymore.
That's sad. And how long have you been in Children of the Night?
This time it's for 6 or 7 weeks.
And you're 14 years old?
15.
You're 15. Well, we're glad you're there. We're glad you're here. And thank you for telling us all this stuff. It's hard, I know. Thank you. I want to ask everybody where they see themselves in 6 months. No, I'm going to come to you last because you're everybody's inspiration. Where do you see yourself in 6 months?
Well, 6 months from now, I'm gonna try to go back to public school, because right now, that's my first thing I gotta do, stay in school, you know?
Yeah.
And just, I've got some stuff, maybe I wanna be an actor or something. That's some things I would like to do.
Let's
in
just
my
talk
life.
6 months.
All right, 6 months, okay.
School.
Just stay sober, be in
Stay
school.
sober, be in school.
And there's one guy I really wanna thank, the man above, you know, because he's been by my side the whole time. Thank you, God, you know?
You'll come back in 6 months. Come back in 6 months. We'll talk about how school's going. Where do you want to be in 6 months?
I would like to be back in New York. I got some family out there, and I miss them. I haven't seen them in a long time.
Is that a dangerous place to go back to your family?
No, actually, because where it really started was out here in California, you know. And, you know, I want to get back into regular high school, you know, get a job, you know, do whatever I have to do to make it and survive. And, you know, hopefully it will work out. And I have a lot of confidence that it will work out. And I'm not going to let anybody take me down or tell me different.
Good. So we'll talk to you in 6 months, too. Where do you want to be in 6 months?
Well, in 6 months, by that time, I hope I have my daughter back, going to school.
How old is your daughter?
She'll be 2 on the 22nd of this month. And go to school, probably have a job, stuff like that.
Okay, so those are 3 things I want to hear from you in 6 months.
Okay.
Jill, tell us where you're going to be in 6 months.
In 6 months, I plan to still be in college.
You are in college,
Yes,
aren't you?
I'm in college. And I plan on, let's see, just setting more goals for myself. Set small ones now, and I've been accomplishing them. My apartment, my car, school. The shelters really helped me like structure my life out, so.
Was it hard to know what it meant to set a goal?
Very hard.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's hard because my whole life I had tried and before the shelter, and nothing ever seemed to got done. Nothing ever seemed to happen. I would say I was trying, but I wasn't putting everything into it, and the shelter kind of gave me a little...
It's hard to set goals when you're living in total chaos, though.
Yes, when you don't even know what's going on, you don't know where you're going to sleep the next night. You worry about those things instead of worrying about what you should worry about, going to school, taking care of yourself, working to support yourself.
Because there was a time when you could have been any of these kids, right?
Right.
And you were.
Right.
And now, tell us where you are now, Jill, because you're everybody's great inspiration.
Well,
you're 19 years old, first
yes,
of all.
I'm 19, and the shelter was there for me and teaching me how to budget myself to where I was able to get my own apartment, hold a job longer than a year. And just a lot of loving people that I've met through my job. I have a very nice boyfriend, and his family's wonderful to me, and just a lot of support by people when they notice that you really want to help yourself and that you really try. You actually really, I've noticed from Lois and everyone there and my boyfriend that you can do things and people are proud of you, and it makes yourself feel more proud about yourself when you actually feel
and it does all start when you want it.
When you have to want it, you have to. And when you're in the shelter, you can't get too involved in the stories that go on there between the kids. You have to keep focused on what you want.
Right.
And worry about yourself, because no one else is going to unless you do. That's how I feel, that if the kids keep focused, they will definitely, they could be where I am.
Thank you for bringing all these cool people here.
Oh, thank you for inviting us.
And please come again. We'll keep on with stories. There's a lot of kids out there.
Yes. Thank you.
A lot of kids that we hope we can help.
I'm
Thank
sure
you
we
very
can.
much.
Thanks.
We didn't even cry.
No,
Isn't
we
that
didn't.
awesome?
We almost made it.
Thank you all very, very much. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. I want to thank all my guests, and thank you at home, and thank the people here. And thank you, kids.